You probably made the decision that you want to start looking at living abroad. You're probably looking at flights, looking at places to stay, planning what life could look like abroad. But one thing I remind you, especially the US citizens, your bank account is not going to travel with you. How's your money going to get there? What do you do exactly? In this video, we're going to talk about how to access your money abroad, the things that you need to do before you leave with your bank account, credit cards, ATM limit. We're going to speak about it now. So that way you don't get locked out of your money while abroad. Number one thing you want to do before you leave is to prepare your US bank account. What does that look like? That's going to be different for everybody. Let's say you're a single person. It's only you on your account. What if you're abroad and you lose a debit card, you lose a credit card, you need one immediately, and you know that, man, since I'm abroad, I just can't walk into a branch, get a debit card printed right on the spot. Yeah, they could ship it to you. They may not have expedite services for abroad. The other alternative is making sure that you have somebody that you trust, whether that's a family member, friend, trustee, I'm gonna leave that up to you, on your account as well. That way they have the authority to take care of things when you're not there if you trust somebody. But that's something you need to do, just for that example that I mentioned a few minutes ago. While you're prepping your bank account and you're in the US, you want to increase your ATM limit if you can. The reason why you want to increase your ATM limit is because a lot of times you don't realize how little you can really take out on a 24-hour basis if you need it. This may not apply for everybody, but the reason why I say this is because in my previous video, when I talked about housing, let's say you're looking into housing abroad and you need to pay a deposit, and maybe the cash is the easiest route to take, but your ATM limit is $500 and you need to take out $1,000. What can you do? Can you break it apart, use multiple banks? Yeah, you can do that, of course, but now you're paying 2 ATM fees possibly if your bank account doesn't reimburse you internationally. So that's why it's critical that you should probably increase your limit temporarily while you're there, because once you're abroad and you try to do it over the phone, good luck. You can wire money, but you got to be prepared for it because wiring domestically and international is different. The processing times can be different. Some can get it immediately, and then some could be 2 to 5 days. Let's say you have an Airbnb that's about to end and you found a long-term you're going to stay in, and your Airbnb ends in 2 days, and then you wire transfer, but it's going to take 3 business days or 5 business days. Now you have to spend some more money on the Airbnb. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I like my money. I don't like just throwing away money. That's a temporary thing that you may need to do. Banking is advanced now, so you could go on your app and do, hey, alert me when anytime money comes across X amount of dollars, whether that's $1, $5, $25, whatever that might be, so you can immediately freeze it. Or if you don't use your debit card that much, you can put a freeze on it if your bank account allows you to freeze that card and only unlock it when you're about to use it if you're concerned for that. Boom, I have a solution for you right there. Now, let me go back to the ATM limit part. The reason I say this too is you have a 24-hour limit. So if I take $500 at 7 p.m., I cannot take another $500 until 7 p.m. the next day. Also, when it comes to the banking purposes, they may limit your debit card spending. You want to make sure you understand your bank accounts. Now, wires, you're gonna pay a little bit more than you would domestically. If you send them domestically, sometimes it's free, sometimes it's $20. But when you're doing international, it could be about, the averages I've been seeing is $30 to $50 for wires. Sometimes you might have to pay your landlord through a wire, so keep that fee in mind. Those $50 times 12, that can add up for you. Now, for the ATM fees, this is going to vary based upon your banks, but I see anywhere from $5 to $10. Now, if your bank doesn't reimburse you, some will, some won't. I know people who utilize banks that give you international reimbursement, such as the Charles Schwab one and Fidelity, the Cashman, they reimburse you. You do have to qualify for these accounts. Long story short, when it comes to this, read the disclosures, understand your limits, understand what you can and can't do. So that way you're prepared when you go abroad, because a lot of times we think getting out money could be a very simple task, but for some, depending on your bank, that alone, you could be spending a whole day or two, wasted day trying to figure that out. Hey, I speak from experience. Another way to transfer money to yourself is using Western Union. This is a fast way to get money yourself. You can get some discounts, but once again, you're going to be paying a fee. Depends on how much that you're spending in the country and the rate that it is at the time. Just set up an account, send it to yourself, and you can pick it up in the country that you're in. There's a lot of countries on that list, so double check on their website if the country that you're looking into abroad takes Western Union, even if you don't use it, but it's good to know as an alternative backup as well. Now, some people might say, hey, why don't I just bank in the country that I'm thinking about moving to? That could be an option, but a lot of times for you to be able to bank in that country that you're moving to, you have to be a resident. Not a lot of them are just gonna take your passport. Some will, but that's not every country, every bank. So figure that out in that home country. Speak to people that you may know that are US or from Western countries and see what their experiences are, or even call them up and figure that part out. Banking where you plan to move abroad doesn't necessarily mean that's a good idea, because some countries abroad, their bank system may not be too good. So talk to the locals as well, what their experiences are with their bank accounts. And if you decide to do that, only keep a small amount and not all your money. You always want to disperse your money anyways. You either have to be a resident, know somebody that's a resident that's willing to do that, but I wouldn't recommend that unless it's a partner of yours. And even some people don't even do that. To have a smooth outlook when it comes to banking, you want to have at least 2 to 3 different cards, whether that's a debit card, which means it's tied to your bank account, or credit cards. You want to have multiple, because if you're out eating and they blocked your card for some reason, and then you have to call, and maybe it's 9 p.m. there or 9 a.m. in the country that you're in, and it's closed, what are you gonna do? Now you gotta wash dishes. Just have backups. I always recommend, if you can, use a credit card, because with the debit cards, you have a higher chance of getting declined using your debit card, because you're gonna have to constantly call them up and let them know, hey, I'm gonna be in this country from this and this point in time. Versus a credit card, you may have to do that one time to let them know, and then from there you're good. Unless it's a larger than ever amount that you're charging your credit card, most of the time you'll be all right. Have multiple credit cards, debit cards if you need to be, just to save yourself for a rainy day. Also, to make things easier for you, save your international account numbers. What I mean by that is because if you're doing wires, you want to save your SWIFT code as well and all the details tied to that. So that way you're not having to scramble and call if it's closed, who you're going to talk to, and if you need the money right now, or you need to send a wire. So have those details. Sometimes you can even Google your bank and look up, hey, Bank of America, SWIFT code internationally. To make it easy for you, just get it directly from them. Get the details while you're there, so that way you're not second guessing. The SWIFT code is pretty much the number that you're going to need to make the wire transfer. Have those things. I'm not saying you got to write it down. Whatever safekeeping looks like for you to keep your account safe, do that. Also, you want to have some cash on you, just in case. Carry some change. You just never know when you need it. Or in the situation your card gets declined for some reason. You also want to set up the 2-factor authentication with your bank accounts, credit cards. That way you can get a text message whenever you log in, or you have to put an additional password. Just protect yourself at all times. Don't make it easy for somebody to get into your accounts online. So let's recap what we talked about today. Number 1, increase your ATM limit. If you need to, you should do that while you're in the US or whatever country you're from. 2, understand the reimbursement fees and what you'll be charged when you take out money, when you wire money, or even if you're sending to yourself Western Union. Now going back to Western Union, that's another alternative to send yourself money from your bank account to Western Union, so you can pick it up in cash, and you can even get it in the currency of the place that you're in. Number 4, understand the wire transfer times and transfers in general, so that way you can plan accordingly and you're not having to scramble around and waste your time trying to figure out the banking situation. And lastly, just understand the main points of your money, your accounts, and what you need and your limits before you leave, because you don't want to be stranded or not have any help. If you need somebody in your home country, decide who's that trusted individual if you're going to do that, or if you're not going to, just prepare yourself and have your ducks in order before you even decide to leave. In short, living abroad is amazing, but I just want you guys to be aware of these things that nobody is talking about on here. You don't want your bank stopping that rent payment or whatever it is that you need to pay, and now it's delaying your living situation there or your happiness. Comment below if there's anything else that you would add on or you feel that people need to know, or you're curious on what's Swift code, what's a wire transfer. Be nice to each other. If you found this helpful, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with somebody who you think that'll benefit from there. And talk to you later.